friends, Elizabeth here from Plant-Based Bride, and I'm back again with another video. This one is my January 2019 Plan With Me. Before I get started, I want to say a big thank you to Four Sigmatic for sponsoring this video. I have actually been using and loving Four Sigmatic's products for years and was so excited when they reached out. If you're unfamiliar with Four Sigmatic, they're a Finnish company started by a group of fun guys who love fungi. Okay, I'll see myself out. But really, they started by combining coffee and chaga mushrooms and now make a wide range of products based upon their belief in the real magic of functional mushrooms. They make drinking mushrooms and other superfoods easy with their organic, gluten-free, and vegan products that also happen to be absolutely delicious, which I can tell you from my own personal, first-hand, rigorous taste testing. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing 3 of my favorite drinks in their line, so you can join me in being #on shrooms all day, every day. So I'm going to start off by making some coffee because if you know me, you know I am a coffee addict to the bone. Four Sigmatic is known for their mushroom coffee, which is a blend of 100% Arabica organic coffee and a variety of mushrooms. My favorite of their mushroom coffees is this one, which contains lion's mane and chaga. Lion's mane is an all-natural cognitive enhancer and has been shown to support memory and concentration, which is good because I tend to get distracted very easily. Not only does it feel like giving your brain an energizing hug, but it also has a lovely medium fruity coffee flavor, and each serving has the same caffeine as about half a cup of regular coffee. And it's less acidic than regular coffee because of the chaga, which makes my stomach very happy. These packets are super convenient, so I love to make them in the morning. All you need to do is pour in the powder and add hot water, and you're good to go. But I love to add a dash of cashew or coconut milk for a little extra creaminess. And don't worry, it doesn't taste like mushrooms. Really. Want to try? I love to pop a packet in my backpack, especially when I've hit snooze a couple too many times, so I can make a quick cup at work. They're also great for making me feel a little more positive on mornings when I have to be up before the sun. Be sure to check out the link in my description for 15% off your first order with Four Sigmatic. So now that I have my creativity and focus turned on and my coziness factor turned up by at least 10 notches, it's time to get to planning. Starting off with my Welcome 2019 page. This page isn't in keeping with the theme for January, it's its own little thing. I wanted it to be separate, just a way to transition from 2018 into 2019 because it's pretty common to start a new notebook in the new year, but because I'm only about halfway through mine, that didn't make any sense. So this page is sort of my transition period from 2018 to 2019, and I might end up actually adding a goodbye 2018 page on the left once I actually get to the end of 2018. Let me know in the comments if you think that's a good idea. So I'm just using my Winsor & Newton Cotman watercolor set to do a bit of a blue and yellow background. And once that is completely dried, just flicking some more pigment over the page to get a bit of a splattered effect. And then going back in with a pen to do the hand lettering. Moving on to my January cover page, and this month's theme is actually letterboards. If you follow me on Instagram, you will know I love my letterboard and I post with it all of the time. And I realized that I'd never seen the letterboard and bullet journaling communities collide, so I decided to be the first one. My cover page is designed to look like a flat lay that I would do on my Instagram, so the center of the image is going to be the letterboard, which is going to say hello January, but the rest of the cover page is kind of going to be like the background of an Instagram photo where I'm going to have some plants in the corner. I have a plaid blanket on the table, a branch, which is inspired by the birch branch I actually have on the table here while I'm filming, a coffee cup full of my Four Sigmatic mushroom coffee, of course, and a couple pine cones just for a little bit of interest and some wintry vibes. For the letterboards, it's very simple. I just cut out a rectangle using black construction paper. I then cut out little strips from this brown wrapping paper to be the frame of the letterboard. I then used my black Tombow brush pen to draw lines across the letterboard, which are probably a little hard to see on camera, but those are to represent the lines that you see on a felt letterboard, which is where you actually stick all the letters in, glue the frame on, and you're good to go. I used my Posca white paint pen to write the letters on the letterboard, using my actual letters from my actual letterboard as an example so that I could get an idea of the font. Here is a close-up on how I actually drew the pine cones. I started off with a white pencil just to kind of sketch out where I wanted those snow-tipped edges to go, using this pine cone as an example. Then I went in with my beige Tombow brush pen just to fill in the shadows of the pine cone, then with my dark brown Tombow to fill in the deepest shadows to give more dimension. And when I was happy with all of that, I went in with my Posca white paint marker and did all of the highlights in that so that it would be a much brighter white that would really stand out on this brown paper. I decided to draw this on this brown wrapping paper that I was using for the borders of the letterboards, just because I thought it would make it a little easier since it's already brown. It gives me a good base for the pine cones, but you could definitely do this just directly into your bullet journal or do it on white paper and just color in all of that brown yourself. Now, it took me a little while to do those 2 cover pages. I have to be honest, I finished my first coffee and it's definitely time for a refill. And I don't know about you, but I'm ready to turn up the coziness even more. So I'm gonna make a cup of the mushroom mocha. Coffee and chocolate are 2 of my favorite things, and this drink gives me such wintry, holiday, Christmassy vibes, and I love it so much. It's another great one to add plant milk to for that super duper creamy chocolatey flavor. And it's seriously so convenient. It basically takes me the time it takes to boil water. By the way, I'm pretty sure anyone on your Christmas list would love to receive some of this mushroom mocha mix in their stocking. It's also perfect for Christmas morning. Who wouldn't want to drink a delicious mocha while they're opening their presents? Now that I have my mushroom mocha, I'm ready to keep planning, and I'm moving on to my next page, which is my quote page. I say quote page in air quotes because it's not always a quote. It's just sort of a page with a message to myself. Last month it was a pep talk. Sometimes it actually is a quote. This month I'm going very simple and straightforward, concise, as it were. And I'm just telling anyone who looks at this page, which is mostly going to be me, you're great, because sometimes we just need that kind of reminder, you know? And January can be tough because you feel reinvigorated, you feel ready, you want to crush your goals, and sometimes it's a little harder than you expect. So it's good to remember that you're great and you're going to get through it, okay? My concept for this page was I wanted it to look like a letterboard was sitting on a wood floor. So I started again with my brown wrapping paper and I started drawing out this wood floor pattern, basically just drawing a lot of wonky lines, some closer together, some further apart, really trying to mimic the look of a wood floor that has a really prominent grain. I also included some knots in there. I think the easiest way to do this is just to look at a bunch of pictures of real wood floors and try to copy some of the patterns you see. I'm actually really happy with how mine turned out. So I used that dark Tombow brush pen again for all of the darker lines, and then I went in with my light beige Tombow brush pen to add some depth to certain areas so that it looked a little bit more three-dimensional. It looked like there was some variation in the tone of the wood, which is pretty common in wood floors, of course, and I think that really helped to make it look more realistic. I then created my letterboard in exactly the same way. This one you can only see the corner of, so I only needed to make a frame for 2 of the sides. I again used my real-life letterboard letters as inspiration for the font for this one and wrote out my message to myself, "You're great." I decided I wanted to add a couple other little bits and bobs to this as well. Not to go overboard, I wanted this one to be pretty simple, but I did want a couple things just to make it a little bit more interesting to look at. So I decided to draw out a couple little leaves or fronds and use my bigger pine cone that I drew to add a little bit of something to this page. So now I'm moving on to the calendar page, and I decided for the actual calendar to make it look like they're made of lighter letterboards, so a letterboard with maybe a white felt instead of a black felt, and then to have some accents of darker felt letterboards on the top left and bottom right hand corner. I made the black letterboards in the exact same way as I have been so far, and for the light ones I decided to just create the border, just create the frame in the same way and glue that down, and then to create a lighter horizontal striped pattern to give the impression of that felt letterboard look using my light beige Tombow brush pen. I wrote out my letters using my white Posca paintbrush pen again. And other than that, this calendar setup is pretty straightforward. Adding a couple decorations, a couple little added things here and there just to give it some more visual interest, and a little quote or reminder to keep it kind. This is something that has always kind of been a motto for me, maybe not worded exactly like that, but kindness has always been something that is at the core of my being and the core of my values, my moral compass. Everything that I hold dear, everything that's important to me has to have a basis in kindness, and I think that keeping everything you do based in kindness can really change your life and also change the life of everyone you come in contact with. Now I'm moving on to my sleep and mood trackers. For this one, I decided to do 2 large letterboards, again, doing the light letterboard look. So starting by creating the frames and then going in and adding all the details I need for the trackers. My sleep tracker is basically the exact same setup I've had for a couple months now. So down the left side, vertically, I have the days of the month, and then across the top horizontally, I have the hours of the day and night. And then I'll just draw bars for the hours that I'm asleep every single night. For moods, again, I have the days of the month going down vertically, and then across the top, I just have some moods I'd like to track, and I'm also tracking a couple symptoms, but I really narrowed it down to the main symptoms I want to keep an eye on for January, which are panic attacks and a racing heart. That's another benefit of Four Sigmatic, in my opinion, because each cup has about half the caffeine as a regular cup of coffee. I find I still get the same kick that I would from a cup of coffee, but I find when I'm drinking Four Sigmatic more regularly, I deal with fewer symptoms of my anxiety because caffeine really does worsen my anxiety. And that's a really good benefit if you are someone who's struggling with anxiety. Cutting down your caffeine can really help. And something like the Four Sigmatic mushroom coffee can be a great option because it has half the caffeine, but you still get that energy, you're still getting caffeine, you're still getting the taste of the coffee. But that could make a big difference for you. So definitely check it out if you, like me, struggle with anxiety. So it's starting to get late. As you can see, it's dark outside. I'm trying to really control my caffeine intake, especially after early afternoon, to try to make sure I'm gonna get a good night's sleep and hopefully be able to get to bed a little earlier. My go-to when I want something warm and cozy to drink is always coffee, but a new find from Four Sigmatic that is perfect for winter evenings is this mushroom chai latte mix with turkey tail and reishi, which is 100% caffeine-free. This is so yummy, full of holiday spice and everything nice, with gut support from the turkey tail mushrooms and the calming effects of the reishi. This is such a delicious chai latte. Again, I love to add my cashew milk in there to get a creamy latte feel. It tastes so much like the holiday season. I'm sure it's the mix of spices that they have in there. I had never tried this one until recently, and it is now definitely one of my new favorites, especially at bedtime. Reishi is such a helpful mushroom if you struggle with your sleep like I do, so I highly recommend checking out this mushroom chai latte mix for a pre-bed ritual type of drink. And finishing off with the very last spread, which is going to be my first weekly spread. I'm doing this the same as I did last month. I'm continuing on, of course, with my rolling weekly. As you all know, this is my very favorite layout in the entire world. The rolling weekly, running task list, whatever you want to call it, saved my life, and I'm not even being dramatic. Check out my video dedicated to this weekly layout if you'd like to know more about it. It is really incredible. But as I explained in my December plan with me and in my November plan with me, I was feeling like I needed a little bit more room on my dailies than I had fitting it all onto a single 2-page spread. So I have started doing this faux Dutch door 3-page spread for my weekly, where each day of the week has a full half page, and then I just fold the center page in the middle to create a faux Dutch door so that I can see my task list no matter what day of the week it is. This is such a fun trick, and even though I've done it so many times, it still gives me such a kick that I can just fold my page and be able to use my task list no matter what day of the week it is and always be able to see it. The faux Dutch door is such a simple concept, and yet I find it pretty revolutionary. So for my weekly spread, I decided to create a bunch of tiny little mini letterboards, as well as one long letterboard for kind of the weekly header. I just thought this would be a fun way to tie in the idea without having each day be completely enclosed in a letterboard. I thought that might get a bit busy. Again, I created these in the exact same way as all the other letterboards, cutting out the black paper and then creating the frame out of these strips of brown paper, and then adding the horizontal lines using my Tombow brush pen in black. And then of course I went in with my white Posca paint marker to write in all of the letters, just as I did throughout this entire video. I also used my white gel pen from Sakura to add the smaller numbers that you'll see. I then went in and added a couple little details, again, just to tie it in with everything else, make it look wintry and cute. And that's the entire setup. So I will flip through to give you a look from beginning to end. I'm really happy with how this turned out. I love combining two of my favorite things at the moment, letterboards and bullet journaling, together in one. Very exciting. And I hope that you all enjoyed this theme as well. As always, please tag me on Instagram if you recreate any of these spreads. And even if you don't, I love to see your bullet journals. Here on the screen are some of my favorite recreations from the past month. You all are so talented and I love interacting with you on Instagram. So if you're not part of the Instagram family already, please come and join us. This is also a great moment to thank my patrons. Thank you again so much for your support. I appreciate you so much. If you're interested in becoming a patron, check out the link in the description. At least one of the spreads that I created in this video will be included as a reward for the $3 tier this month as one of my printables, so be sure to check it out. I want to take another minute to thank Four Sigmatic for sponsoring this video. I'm such a fan of what they do and what they stand for, and I'm really excited to share them with all of you. Of course, I highly recommend you check out the 3 drinks that I made in this video: the Lion's Mane and Chaga mushroom coffee mix, the mushroom mocha mix, and the mushroom chai latte mix. Of course, we are now getting very close to Christmas time, and if you are last minute Christmas shopping and need something as stocking stuffers or a gift for the health nut in your life, definitely check out Four Sigmatic. They have so many awesome bundles and kits for the holiday season, like the mushroom latte kit where you can try the matcha latte, the golden latte, and the chai latte, or the daily productivity kit that comes with the mushroom matcha drink mix, and my favorite, the Lion's Mane and Chaga mushroom coffee mix. Or alternatively, you could buy one or a couple of these bundles for yourself because the new year is right around the corner and 2019 you deserves to be on shrooms every day. Don't forget to check out the link in the description for 15% off your first order with Four Sigmatic. Their products are really affordable, especially with that 15% off, and their website is actually really easy to navigate. You can sort things by type of mushroom you're looking for, or the benefits you're looking for, or even the specific type of drink. And there's lots of information about every single product for you to read up on and make the most informed decision for you. So don't forget to use that link in my description box for 15% off your first purchase with Four Sigmatic. And thank you so much again to Four Sigmatic for being my first ever sponsor and for sponsoring this month's plan with me. I hope you are all doing well. I am sending you so much love during this holiday season, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye, friends.